morning. Whenever you're ready, Rick.
Well, good morning, and thank you for this opportunity to present our campus recreation budget and our student service fee proposal for FY19. Campus recreation is asking for your support in funding services for recreational health, wellness, and fitness for our students, our faculty, staff, and our community members. Campus recreation has three funding sources for its budget. First and foremost, we have the recreational sports fee, our dedicated side of the budget. We also have a funding source from the sale of non-student memberships and locker rentals, and we do have traditionally received funding from the student service fees in years past. We project that our total budget for FY19 will be a little over $4 million, and we're asking for a request of $376,000 for FY19. As a result of a successful referendum in the fall of 2014, Campus Recreation made a commitment to the students of Texas A&M Commerce to become less dependent upon the student service fee. If our request is funded at our request level this year, we will have been successful in giving back over $400,000 to other departments and student organizations on our campus to meet student needs. This year, our request is 20% less than our allocation was last year. Put another way, we're asking for $97,999 less than we received last year. We plan on putting this revenue to good use for our personnel. We have 11 staff members at Campus Recreation. We plan to fund 6 of them from the student service fee side and 5 of those from the dedicated side. If we were to receive a cut in our salaries, we'd have to move 1 or more of those student service fee salaries to the dedicated side. Because at this point, I wouldn't want to let go of a staff member. If this were to occur, we'd look to 3 areas to compensate for that revenue on the dedicated side. First and foremost, we'd look at new construction. And if we look at these areas, with the exception of one at the bottom, this would be a 1-year fix. Revenue is set aside already to do the sand volleyball court, the modular pump track, and turf on the mat court. We'd simply reduce funding for amenities on those projects to meet a need. The last one would be a last resort. If we had a substantial cut to our student service fee, we really had to look at the viability of the expansion project and how we fund that. The other 2 areas we'd look at is partnership opportunities and programs and services. Programs and services would be the last area we look at. But we do have a tradition at Campus Recreation at helping funding great services with partnerships and collaborations. 2 that we're proud of this year is the funding of Mental Health Matters Day with our counseling center and our collaboration with the athletic department and the women's basketball on their leadership program, the 1525 Way. The last thing we take a look at is a reduction in our outdoor adventure and personal training programs, or reductions in hours of operation in our facilities that we oversee and manage. Before I get to your questions, and I want to answer all of them this morning, I want to end with this. We have one simple mission at Campus Recreation, and that's to support the academic mission of this institution. How do we do that? We do that by being a part, or being in the equation for recruitment, retention, and persistence. Well, how can a Campus Recreation program do that? We do that by emphasizing 6 words and 2 taglines, and my staff knows this by heart. Safety, integrity, and communication. Spirit, pride, and tradition. We want to create spaces and programs that the students feel as if they matter. That it's a community, that they can come in here, feel safe, and have their health and wellness needs met. We want to clearly communicate that, and we want to show integrity. Integrity is 2 sides. That we're doing the right thing by the university, but also integrity is sometimes judged by the strength of your program or a piece of steel Are we being innovative on the trends and listening to our students and communicating that to folks that make decisions on this university so we can have a first-in-class experience for our members at the Morris Recreation Center and within the programs at Campus Recreation. At that, I leave it open for questions or any questions you may have.
Questions for Rick?
You anticipate that this pattern of decline in your ask for student service fee money will continue to trickle down, or are we flat, or are you thinking it's going to flatten out?
I have a strong commitment to being a team player on this campus. And so if our enrollment were to increase, I would most definitely look at how we could be less dependent upon the student service fee. There are a lot of other needs. This year, it's a tough budget year this year. You know, when I look at my budget and the revenue that came in from the campus rec fee this year, I'm projecting that from our projection of a budget this year, we're going to be $400,000 less on the campus rec side. And so when we did this budget this year, it was tough. You know, you gotta figure we're going flat projections from last year. When we passed the referendum, we had guaranteed tuition. We projected growth for a 4-year period, and we're in year 4, and we're not going to see that growth. And so we had to critically sit down and look and say, what's important, how can we be efficient, and how can we show that we're transparent with the funds that we have. If I have an opportunity to do so, I would. Yes, ma'am.
Rick, you mentioned something about that your funding request this year for FY19 would be $98,000 less than last year.
Yeah, $97,999.
Right, but last year, I think you were given $460,000. And this
Yeah.
year's $376.
They also have intramurals.
We had intramurals.
They have 58,000 from intramurals.
We didn't ask for intramural funding this year, and so that $97,000 is a reduction.
Combined of both.
Yeah, it's combined of both. So we took the funding that we'd have for intramurals, put it on the dedicated side, and we took a salary and put it on the dedicated side already. That's how we got that figure.
All right.
That make sense?
Yes, it does. And can I have a second question?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you mentioned something about your dedicated side is really, driven with enrollment, and I agree with that.
Yes, ma'am.
So suppose the enrollment is not stabilizing, like if it's just level or a little bit under, what's your plan to address that?
It's those areas that we mentioned now, and we'll continue to do that. Why I say that is some of those areas, like construction, new construction, if we reduce that, that impacts one given year. Because next year we're going to build all those projects and that money's going to be gone. Then you start to look at the things you have to put in your budget every year. And so if we build an expansion, we're going to have debt every year. That debt on $7 million is going to be approximately $580,000. And so as we reduce, it's going to be harder to cover that. Then we start looking at programs and services. One thing that we've done, we try to boost our numbers in outdoor adventure. We had some feedback from users that said the challenge course and the trips program were too expensive. They were too expensive for the students because we were charging at the same rate. So what we took a look at doing is saying, okay, how much money do we put on the dedicated side for salaries? And how can we make that equate to the price that we're paying to the students? So the students are paying at a 20% rate than what a community or faculty staff would have. We repeated that in our challenge course. And what happened is our numbers in trips went up 70%. Our challenge course participations in distinct users went up by 200%. So one of the things we wanted to do was repeat that model with our personal training. Personal training is innovative. It's what students are looking for when they come into a rec center in the modern age. We're starting to hear some feedback about that. And so we're going to dedicate $40,000 to supplement that, because that was a money in, money come out type of deal. And they were paying at a certain rate. We're going to take that same 20% and allow more students to be able to pay. So for personal training, instead of paying $20, we're going to pay $5. And so we're trying to do some of those things to increase accessibility, increase opportunity to have those health needs met. Because if you're creating a healthy body and you mix that with a healthy mind, I think that's going to help our recruitment and retention and our persistence. Does that answer your question? Okay.
Other questions for Rick?
Well, because I teach graduate students, some of them are online, some of them are all over McKinney and Skeet. Is there any outreach that you plan on doing, like your Mental Health Matters Day or something where you could reach those other campuses?
Sure. Great question, I'm glad you asked it. One of the partnership opportunities that we're involved with in campus is Student Health 101. Shatina happens to be highly involved in that as well. It is a digital health magazine to meet needs of students anywhere that they're at. And so it's an app, you can have email sent to you, and each week the 8 spokes of the wellness wheel is met by an article or information. There are videos online that can tell you how to cook a healthy meal, how to exercise. Some of you probably got tired of seeing the email from me about Student Health 101 a couple months ago. We tried to inundate the campus to make them aware of this is an opportunity for everybody by using technology and innovation to get that information out there. Now, we also set aside some money each year so that if one of our off-campus sites would like us to program in those areas, we have the ability to do that. Most of the time, those are things like a wellness fair or a table opportunity, or they want some spirit stuff from A&M Commerce to show that their students matter just as well as the main campus does. A lot of times, if there's a family carnival type atmosphere that they want us to do, we have a special event person that works with them and tries to meet their need. So yeah, it's really important to us because, as you probably understand, although we say we may have 11,000 to 12,000 students, not all of them come to our campus every day. You know, and when we look at the 8,000 or so that do, it's important to meet the needs of the other ones as well. So we do try.
Any other questions for Rick? All right. Thank you very much.
Yep, you're welcome.
Faculty and